I'm back. Alright, I'm back, guys. Hopefully someone comes back. I really don't know what the heck happened there at all. It's aggravating. Yo, Dank. Alright. I don't know if I got too close to the tank or what, but my phone was feeling like it was about to melt. Really stinks too, because I had like 9 or 10 people in here. But anyhow, just fed this tank about 30 minutes ago. Fed them some green beans. Got my super reds out here eating. Then I've got some shrimp hanging on to one over here. Well, Dank, I've got, if I can find it, let me try to find it here. I've got a little homemade one that one of my kids made in a pottery class one time. I don't know if you can see this thing or not. See that right there? That's kind of like how it was. You still there, Dank? Don't you agree? His had holes in the side of it. And right now, I'm in the middle of... Yeah, it does, don't it? I'm in the middle of making one of those, like Sergeant Tank Pets makes. Those ones made out of slate. I bought some slate the other day. So look at these shrimp hanging onto this green bean that's falling off of this sponge filter. There's like 5 or 6 shrimp, like 6 shrimp hanging on. These bristlenose don't know what to think. Yeah, I'm gonna do that pretty soon, Dank. I actually went to Menards and bought some slate tiles. They're really cheap. And I'm gonna make one Sergeant Tank, he's got a video on how to make them, and all I gotta do is just find a saw to cut them. But the video that I put out Monday, if you guys have watched it, is on this tank right here. This right now is 2 weeks since I filmed that video, and one of my big males and that female that I got from Michael were goofing off down in here in front of one of these caves the other night. I think the male was trying to pin her in the cave is what he was doing. It was pretty exciting, but none of them are caved up yet. Just feeding them and trying to keep them happy. Yeah, so Dank, if you're still there, if you could share this out and tell people that I'm back up, that'd be great. Because it looks like either you or just one other person is the only one here right now. It really stinks that that happened. But it is what it is. It happened. Got another bristlenose right down here. They like to just hang out. Right down here. They do a lot of hanging out down there. I really like the super reds. Alright, I'm gonna have to shut this TV off over here for the glare. Dank, if you're still there, if you could share this and let people know that I'm back on again, that'd be great. Hopefully my phone don't get hot again like it was. But yeah, nothing really more than a guppy grow out tank. Nothing really special on the guppies. And shrimp. What's that, Dank? Burning? Yeah. The shrimp love these green beans. They're everywhere. And see, this is the tank that I just took like 60 shrimp out of. I think my LFS was asking me for some shrimp the other day, and I just slowed down. Yeah, French style. Can't tell if that's a male or a female. I think that is a female right there. Look at these guys. They're loving it. It's kind of funny. They can eat in peace up here though, because down here there's a bunch of tail whipping that goes on down here. Show us some of your guppies. I don't really have much special. There's like a little half black fry right there. He's always got poop hanging from him though. He's an eater. Nothing really special. This one's got like a little bit of a flame tail on it. I can't really remember what it is. There's another little half black down there. Hey, fish out of water. Thanks for stopping by. I just thought that I would go live tonight and show you guys some of my tanks, and I started and my phone felt like it was gonna melt, and shut it off and turned it back on, and then YouTube said I could resume my stream. It's just aggravating. I've tested this like 5 or 6 times and everything went great, and then I go live, actual live, and it has to shut down on me. But it is what it is. Just feeding. I fed all the tanks pretty much. There's a few tanks that I can't show you guys, like this little tank right here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but the video on that is coming out tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Got a pretty special Pleco unboxing to do tomorrow morning, and that's why I've got that tank darked out. Let's see. Let's go ahead. I think we've seen just about everything that we can see. That's what I kind of like about doing this, is like, even though this video that I did on this Monday was, you guys just saw it Monday, it's really 2 weeks since I shot the video, and nothing's really changed except for adding in that other bristle nose. Of course, all 5 of them aren't up here right now. The other female, I don't know where she is right now. Just hiding out. Oh, there she is under the sponge filter. I don't know if you guys can see her poking her head out right by that lava rock there. But yeah, let's go ahead and turn around here to my 40-gallon breeder, and it's going to have a lot of reflective, because when I did this tank, the light that I ordered wasn't long enough for it. So I took this like little clothes rack type thing, and I did some fishing line, and I'm just hanging the light over the tank. But a couple of videos ago I did a rescape on this tank, and I moved this driftwood. It was kind of here in the middle. I moved it over to the right, and now the tank is getting a lot more light, and all of my plants are doing good. The chain swords there kind of melting back a little bit. You can kind of see if you look real close there, they're kind of melting back a little bit. But the crypts are doing good. And then I did add some jungle sword to the right of that cryptlatia there. I got these from my LFS, so I added some jungle sword in there. And then I did take the big aquarium co-op sponge off of there, and I made me a homemade sponge out of the aqua clear, you know, those little white replaceable sponges. I just took my pocket knife and cut a little slit in it. It's white, it kind of looks janky, but that big aquarium co-op sponge was letting stuff get into my aqua clear, and in the middle of the night one night, my aqua clear just started buzzing and making a real weird noise. It was a wild night. Right now, what I got in this tank is I've got some wild shrimp, which all I fed in this tank a little bit ago was just a little algae wafer. Kind of hard to see with the glare. This light being up above is what's causing that too, so I'm trying to look down on it. They've got this little wafer knocked back here. But the shrimp that I've got in this tank are some reds, and then I got some blacks, and I've even got an orange one in here. And then I've got a couple of those wild ones that have black or a gold stripe on them. And then let's see here, I've got some endlers still in here, but I've only got fry and females, and every time I notice one of them coloring up, I take them out and I move them into a tank that I'll show you guys here in a little bit. But these shrimp right here aren't show quality at all. I just put them in here to breed them with this old black one that I've got with gold stripes, and I'm getting ready to move a bunch more wild shrimp in here that I've got, and I'll talk about that later in another room if we make it that far. But up here at the top, maybe we'll give a down view. We've got some of that potos or whatever you call that stuff, and then right up here, starting like right in here somewhere, I've got some moss glued to it, and the shrimp just hang out in that stuff all day long. And you see the little Anubias there and the Java fern. There's a pretty fat buried shrimp right there. She is full of eggs. So this tank isn't really a pretty tank as far as fish go anymore. I've kind of got it backwards. I need the size for the growing out the females and everything, and growing out the males and finding out that they're colored and all that kind of stuff, but I really need to have my males in here for the prettiness, you know, to make it look nice. But I wanted to talk about this. I used to have some albino bristlenose in here. I had 2 sailfin and 1 long fin. But when I ordered the other pleco for the video tomorrow, I originally was going to put those plecos in here, and I got one of them, and I already talked about this in the live stream, so I can go ahead and tell you, but I got one of them and I put it in here and it was missing for a week. So I went ahead and pulled it out. I went ahead and pulled it out of here, and I moved it. Well, I moved them to another tank, and I can show you guys that one right now, because they're eating right now too. Howdy, Flynn. Just doing a mobile fish room tour. Hey, Priscilla. You beat Trevor? Yeah, he said he'd be 30 minutes late or so. This right here, Priscilla, is what's left of my endlers, and right now it's just a bunch of females and a bunch of fry. And what I do is every time the males get to a certain color and I determine that they're males, I yank them out of here. So even though having a bunch of males in here would be pretty, because I'm probably up to like 20 to 30 males right now, I keep my females in here kind of as a grow out type thing is what I've got going on. But like I was saying, yeah, I know. I did have some bristlenose plecos in here, the albino ones, and we'll go ahead and go over here and look at them. They're eating over here in this little 30-gallon long. In this tank, I've got 3 adult females. I've got 2 sailfin, and then I got 1 long fin. Dank, his wife made dinner plans, is what he told me. And then I've also got like 30 plus baby albino sailfins in here. They like to stay under this moss. They're just everywhere. See those little babies? They're just everywhere. You're probably not getting to see them. Well, yeah, you are. They're kind of getting mixed up. Yeah, the sailfin ones are like a yellow, and my longfin one, she is like solid white, if I can find her. I've also got some swordtails in here. Nothing really special, just what's left over from my colony that died out. And my big female, she's in here somewhere, but she's evidently freaked out. If I can find my longfin female, she's really pretty too. But these little babies are cool. It took them like a week when I moved them in here. I had the babies up there in that little 10-gallon for like 6 weeks. And about 2 weeks ago, I moved them into this tank at the same time that I moved the adults in here. And They stayed hidden under this moss for a whole week. I was really freaked out, actually. I was thinking, oh my gosh, what is the deal? Well, I noticed during the day one time, one of these swordtails, there's my female swordtail right there, the biggest one that's left. They were picking at the little things. So it was kind of aggravating. I could try to do a mobile stream in an hour and show some of them endlers wanted to put the S9 to the stream test anyhow. Yeah, this iPhone started out with a bang. It shut down within just a few minutes of my stream. It was aggravating. And I've tested it a number of times, but those little babies are cool. I would say the babies are anywhere from 2 to 3 months now. It's kind of hard to keep track. Probably getting close to 3 months now. And then the adults are probably 6 months old, somewhere around in there, maybe even longer now. I can't even remember. Boy, that one was blown out like yellow, matching up with the green beans pretty good. Then up here in this tank, I don't know how good you guys will be able to see them, but I got some crayfish up here. And this tank is really nasty, but if you can see inside there, there's one right inside there, if you can see it. You just see his claws. And then the other one is right there, and it just molted today. I put this egg right here from this other tank over there, and he started chomping on this egg, and then the next day he molts. So I thought that was pretty cool. That tank I don't really do much with. It's just 2 big male crayfish, and this one that stays in the tube all the time took this one's claws off the other day. And now let's go ahead and move over here. This one's pretty cool. I've got 30 or more common bristlenose in this tank, and they are eaters, and they're starting to show their bristles and everything. I got these things gave to me on Facebook Marketplace. I had a guy that he had been trying to sell them, and he just posted while I was on Facebook one day saying that free to a good home, and I was the first one. What is up, Leone? My eyesight isn't very good. What's up, Adrian? And then I've got a bunch of platies in here too, but this tank right here, I've got all kinds of hides and 30 plus, probably, I would say, maybe 4-month-old common bristlenose plecos, but I really like them. I had never kept common ones before. Everybody always wants the albinos and the super reds, you know, and all the specialty ones, but these guys are cool. They're right at the foot of my bed, and I'm all the time checking them out. They eat green beans once a week and zucchini once a week. These guys will take a chunk of zucchini and they will eat it all the way down to nothing. I mean, they will just eat skin and all. So when I start seeing that they're down to the skin, I go ahead and try to pull them out. Yep, and then I've got, I don't know how many platies in here. I've got a bunch of different variations. I've got some sunsets and some reds and some rainbows, and a lot of these I have made. You know, they started out here as fry. There's a really nice orange one up there. A couple or 3 weeks old, solid orange. I like platies, they're cool. The females get really, really big. I've got another tank in there in a little bit. If I make it that far, I'll show you some really big platies. Yeah. I could watch this forever. These plecos will eat until these green beans are completely gone. And I didn't feed the platies yet either, and they pick at it nonstop too. Non-stop eating. Alright guys, I think if you guys are ready, we'll go into another fish room. And that's all the tanks in here. I'm pretty sure I hit them all. Got 6 in here, and one of them I can't show you because, like I said earlier in the stream, I've got a video coming out on it tomorrow morning. So if you guys are ready, we'll just go ahead and go into the next fish room. Never fed green beans before. We'll try it for sure. Yeah, just start out low on it. I'm getting ready to, Adrian, that's the next place that I'll go, is the big fish rack, and I'll go over it really hard. On the green beans, make sure and rinse them off till you get all the salt off, because the salt isn't good for the plecos. And then start out light with it, and after a few times of feeding them, you'll figure out how much they can eat. This right here is about a half a can of French style green beans. That's what you have to do, is get the French style, because the regular cut green beans, they have a hard time getting through the skin. So these are cut and they eat the meat off. They end up eventually eating it all, but the French style green beans, rinse them off, rinse the salt off, and you're good to go. And I feed them once a week. I like to feed all of my plecos a different food every day. I try to feed them every day. I don't feed my shrimp every day, but I do feed my plecos every day. That way they're happy, and that way they're not getting stuck on one food as well. So I wish my super reds would start multiplying like this. All right guys, let's go ahead. We've covered all the tanks in here, all 6 of them. Well, we didn't get to do that little 10-gallon, but if you guys want to see what's inside that little 10-gallon tank, tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, there's a really cool video that I've got scheduled. You guys will like it. It's awesome. All right, let's go on in here. Okay, so here is my my fish rack, I guess is what you call it. It's 12 10-gallon tanks. A lot of you guys have seen it. Right here in the middle, I've got blocked off because those 2 tanks, I've got videos on both of those tanks next week, but I'll still be able to show you guys quite a bit on it. Right up here right now in these 2 tanks, all I've got is guppy grass in there. Originally, when I started this, it was going to be built this summer and have it ready for after summer tubbing. All of my lie-bearer stock would go in here, but I got antsy and couldn't wait, so I went ahead and built it. And right now, like 4 of the tanks don't have anything in them. So let's just go ahead and get started on the top here. Boy, the glare is really bad up here. This little tank right here, I'll try to point it to where the glare isn't as bad. Just got a bunch of endlers in here. I've got 2 different types, but they're all males. These are all males. If you was here earlier in the stream, my 40-gallon breeder in there, I've got a bunch of females. And every time one colors up, every time a fry colors up, I move them in here. And it's kind of cool too. I've never talked about this in any of my videos, but the endlers, whenever you take the real dominant males out of the colony, the younger ones start coloring up within a couple or 3 days. But they wouldn't have if you wouldn't have took the male out. They would have stayed, you know, lighter for longer. It's kind of weird, but that's what I've found. These tanks are hard to film because these lights are above instead of down on the tank, so every time I get close, the glare is pretty bad. But I'm trying to see if I can get up here close, show you guys some endlers. You can see me. There's one in here that I pulled a little early, and I think it's a female, because I think I got fooled by like a shadow on her side, but I can't see a gravid spot. She won't set still, but I'm pretty sure she's a female. So I'm just waiting for her to grow out a little bit, And if I can determine that she is a female, I'll go ahead and pull her out. But I love the endlers. I love them. I think I'm going to do those in one of my summer tubs. Thanks, Romaine Paul. But yeah, like I said, in these two, I've just got some snails and some guppy grass in there. Boy, that glare is terrible. I'm really sorry, guys. Okay, so that's the endlers. And then over here, I've got a trio of guppies. Now, I was sold this male right here. He was sold to me as a blue delta, but Lucas on LR Brett's Aquatics has a bunch of these, and he calls them pastels. So I think this male guppy right here is a pastel, and then the females are just you know, a mixture. Like this female right here, she's obviously some type of half black, and a lot of the babies end up being like her. And if you can look really close, you can see a couple of babies in there. See that baby right there? It's getting really close now. Thanks, Adrian. I love the male. He's really pretty. And he used to not be this pretty. And I bought 6 when I bought him. And the other 5 didn't like the water and they died off. But he just stayed through and true. And that's what I'm wanting to get out of them. But I don't have any females to match him. But this female right here, she's making some pretty good babies. She's the one, and there's some more babies right there. They just stay up in the guppy grass a lot. But I would say, since I put them in here, and I only put them in here maybe like a month or so ago, I can't remember, but the water's not really warm enough for them to go crazy, which that is okay. I'm okay with slow, you know, breeding and stuff. This summer we'll probably go crazy because I'm going to do some outdoor tubs. That's a good question, Adrian. Man, it varies. It depends on, it depends on what size of a tank. So like if you've got a bigger tank, they'll get fatter sooner. And I would say within 3 months, they could, you know, be pregnant. I know lots of times when I buy, yeah, dang, I can't wait. Lots of times when I buy them, thank you, Candy. Lots of times when I buy them on Aquabid, they'll be like 3 months old and they'll already be tagged and have gravid spots, and then within a month they'll be having babies. Allison says, I have a pile of subwasser tang on the bottom full of endler fry. Very fun. Cool. My first run at subwasser tang right now is going really slow. I got some subwasser tang, and it's just going slow. One of them's doing okay, but the other one, I've got some of those pond snails, and they just tear the heck out of it. I really like him. And then the babies, got that half black, most of them. They're really cool. This one's a little bit bigger of a baby. It was born by itself. I think this mom, this is her, I've raised her from a real young guppy as well. I think that was her first fry, the one right next to her. All right, so that's it on my guppies. And then you go below and I've got a couple of female endlers and a male endler in here. And they've already had fry since they've been in here, if we can find them. There's one little booger poking at us. Of course, on the endlers, you know, they have to be a couple or 3 months old before you can find out if they're going to be a male or not, which that one right there, actually, I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but he's got color already and he's a fry. Wow, I've never seen that before. I'm trying to teach you guys male endlers don't show color until they're like 2 or 3 months old, and there was a fry that I could, honestly, I could see the colors on him. Crazy. I'll have to go back and watch this replay. What I did is at the time, I pulled out my nicest male. This one, if he would turn sideways, they're so friendly. These endlers just want to say hi. They're always just coming up to me, and it's not because they're hungry. Even when they're not hungry, I can be in this other room in here, and I can come walking in here, and they'll be in the guppy grass. But when I get about right here, here they all come. And they just want to say hey. They're like, hey Jeffro, what is up? But he won't turn sideways and show you his tail. He's got kind of a really cool tail. He's got like a lightning bolt tail. He kind of cocks up and he's just pointed at us, so he's not going to show us. Kind of hesitated doing these live videos like this because now I can't do an update on these videos, because if you guys watch it, you're like, oh, I've seen that in a live stream last week. But I can wait a few weeks and do it. I'm already 2 weeks ahead on my videos anyhow, so. And then down here on the bottom, I've got some platies in here. I pulled out a really nice adult male. He's the one with the black on him. And then that orange female. And then that sunset platy is one of my fry that I raised up. But they have not done their business yet. I think these tanks are just too cold. I've got this room at like 74 degrees and the tanks stay around 70. I'm not heating any of them. And I've got some plans on fixing that. I just don't want to put a heater in each one of these tanks, and I don't want to drill them and do a sump and heat the sump. Yeah, these are all on sponge filters, and in a second, I've got one more tank to show you guys. In a second, I'll take you around back, and I'll show you I've got a centralized air system on it. But yeah, the platies just haven't done their business yet. They're really pretty, though. And that little sunset, I grew him from a little bitty baby. Or her, sorry. Alright. So this tank right here, I do want to tell you about it, but you're not going to be able to see it. I forgot to actually feed that tank. I was going to feed it. I've got a bunch of wild shrimp in here. I probably got 30 shrimp. I've got some tiger stripes. I've got some brick colored ones. I've got one in here, a large female that's like root beer. And then I've got a great big giant blue female. And then I've got a couple of little red ones. And some black ones. You know, not very good black ones. But I'm going to move these guys sometime this weekend into that 40-gallon breeder that I've got in my bedroom in there that I showed you guys a little bit ago. But they're not coming out. And another thing that I've noticed since I put them in here with this guppy grass and they don't have any substrate, a lot of the tiger ones have kind of cleared up. It's kind of weird. Like this one right here. See this little red one that's got the little spot on its back? That one was red. And now it's like clear with the red spot on it. So I'll get to work on these guys this next weekend. One more tank to show you, and I did remember to feed them. This is my cherry shrimp tank. And if you guys go back a couple or 3 videos, I just moved these guys probably 2 weeks ago or so into this tank. And this subwasser tank is doing pretty good, but I don't have a bunch of apple snails or pond snails or whatever they're called in here. So that subwasser tank's not doing too bad. I've just got it glued on a little piece of lava rock. And fed these guys about 30 minutes ago. And they're doing really good in here. I've got some shrimplets already in here. I had a few females that were already buried. Look at that really nice female up there. She's painted red. She's like a painted fire red. I mean, she just shines. There's a funny story about her too. Like, I thought I had lost her in a little 10-gallon tank, and then I moved the males in this tank, and then I moved like 60 shrimp in here. And one night I was in there taking that tank down, and she just emerged out of nowhere, and I put her in there, and I mean, she is so shiny. This is probably not doing her justice, but she is just a beautiful shrimp. All right, so I've got some openings. The nice thing about having tanks going, like I've got a bunch of sponges down here in that one, and then guppy grass in that one, and then just some little wild cherry shrimp that I'm working on in that one. So that's 3 tanks there. And then I've got 2 tanks that are just holding guppy grass up here. So I've got 5 tanks open. I missed going to the little swap over in Davenport last weekend. I really should have went too, because I seen a bunch of stuff on Facebook that people were getting. I mean, some awesome plecos, and it was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I missed this. But let's, oh, I wanted to show you guys something that I picked up this week on Facebook. There was this person selling these on Facebook. They're brand new. I didn't know they were brand new. They still got the stickers on them. They're Aqueon 40-gallon breeders. In the post, they just said 2 40-gallon breeders, getting out of the hobby, 2 40-gallon breeders, and a stand. And I was just assuming a wrought iron stand, but it's actually a good stand. It's a solid stand. It would hold 4 10-gallons on the top and 3 on the bottom. And I've already got some stuff on order for it. Not sure where I'm going to put it yet. Got the lights, they came in today. I'm thinking about maybe booting it right up against here and just coming out to where I can use my central air system over to it, because I've still got 4 openings in the back. But what that would do, if you look here, it would go here and then over. So I don't know, I could put it right in line there. It's going to be crazy, but if I put it over here, I'm going to have to run air pumps or something. So I'm not sure. I want to put them over here to where I can run the air system to them and have free air, because I've got a pump back there that does it. Michael Trevina is here. Boats and hose. You dipstick. That'd be better if you can hook it up to the main air. I know, and I can. All it's going to be is my son's bedroom is right here, and then my other son's bedroom goes up the stairs there. If I keep it in line right here, and we all have MTS, multiple tank syndrome, you know, so I mean, might as well just go ahead and go buck wild. But I mean, it'll only come out to like right in here somewhere. It's not going to be that bad. And they would just have to walk a little farther around to get to it. Adrian says Fort Dodge is having a swap coming up. Not sure how far that is. Fort Dodge is 2.5 hours north of me, something like that. Yeah, logistics word versus MTS. And then Priscilla, I didn't see yours. It was up and then it disappeared. I hate this because it just disappeared. What did I miss? Did he say he's tearing down tanks and giving me fish? Yeah, whatever. We went over all the tanks in my fish room, and then now we're going over the stand here. But I got this little Gemco pump. Got this little fiberglass piece. I had ordered this. It's not fiberglass. It's actually that solar panel stuff, whatever it is. I had bought it actually because none of these tanks have lids on them. And I thought, I know I'm getting sidetracked here, but I thought my endlers were going to be little jumpers. But I decided to put guppy grass in the tank with them. And if anybody has been watching this wondering why I have a bunch of male endlers in a tank with guppy grass, that's why, to try to keep them from jumping out the top. But anyhow, I know I got sidetracked there. But yeah, I've got this little Gemco pump here. And it runs to a tube here. And then I bought their, oh, what do you call this thing? Their spray bar, for lack of a better term. I'm drawing a blank here. This, it will do up to 16 tanks, I believe. And you can make these yourself out of PVC, but for the price, I think it was 18 bucks or something like that. Yeah, manifold. Thanks, Michael. I was like drawing a blank there. The manifold will do 16, and you can buy them as high as, you know, that they make them really large, and you can make your own too. I mean, it's basically a piece of PVC pipe. But the reason why I ordered theirs is I didn't want to figure out how to go from that thickness of a tube to a PVC pipe. And theirs already is set up. It's already got the clamps on it. I've got it drilled right into the board here. And theirs already has the little outlets everywhere too. So all you do is you just, you know, and they also sold me this really nice silicone tubing. And the silicone tubing is amazing. I mean, I love it. And they sold me a really big roll for nearly nothing. These guys at Gemco, yeah, Priscilla, it's awesome. And the nice thing about it is, okay, if I went and showed you around all my tanks in my fish room, there's wires and plug-ins and stuff going everywhere. There's two plugins here. One that runs the power strip for the lights and one that runs the pump. And if you guys can hear this right now, all you're hearing is the hissing of the bleed off the ones that don't have any tubes on them. If I had those shut off, all of these would be bubbling like high crazy. And that's another thing that whenever you get a hold of Gemco, have I noticed any leaks? No, no leaks at all. I did, one thing that you will have to do is see these little bleeder valves. You will have to get some bleeder valves for each one of these, because if not, that pump is so suctiony and pushy that it causes water to start going back to the pump. So I did do that. Those are cheap though. I bought mine off of eBay. I mean, they were really, really cheap. But you know, if I didn't have all of these open ones open a little bit, they would just be bubbling like crazy. So the only thing you hear, you don't hear the pump at all. I mean, it's even sitting on a metal wire basket and it's not vibrating or anything. I mean, you can barely hear it. You can hear the hissing, you know, hear that hissing? That's all we hear. So I'm really pleased with it. It's pricey. I mean, you get into some money there, and I can't really remember off the top of my head how much all of that was. But those are the same type of things that Corey from Aquarium Co-op uses, but his are linear air pistons, and that pump back there is a diaphragm pump. So it's basically like your pumps. Yeah, you pay for what you get, you know. And I wanted to run. At the time, I was going to do 15 tanks here, but I ended up cutting it down to 12. But I wanted something that would run them all, to where I don't have a bunch of little air pumps plugged in for all these sponge filters. And the nicest thing about Gemco is they really do not oversell you. They won't mess around and oversell you at all. And like me, they wanted to downsell me. They were like, we think that's too much of a pump. And I was like, oh, really? And I'm glad I didn't get the pump that I was talking about at the beginning, because this one really is enough. I mean, I can run 4 more tanks. So I think I am going to move this 40-gallon breeders. I think I am going to move them right over here and just have them come lengthways. I don't really care about display. I could run them back and forth here and just have enough space for me to fit in between. I could do that and then just run 1 air tube over the top, or 2, you know, have 1 for the bottom tank. I don't know. I'll play around with it. The pump you're getting is 650. Yeah, if I had all of my tanks in one great big giant room, that's what I would have done. And I would have run, you know, PVC all around the ceiling and come down from the ceiling and everything. And I would have had the pump. Originally, I was going to put the pump up in the attic. That's what I was going to do. And I was going to try to run all my tanks. But for this right here, I'm glad I did it the way I did it. It ended up turning out pretty cool. So, good grief, Michael. Yeah, but like you said, I've always been a believer in that. You get what you pay for. And this little diaphragm pump is awesome. All right, anybody else got any questions on any of this before I move on to the last room? We're going to go into my son's room. I haven't fed any of those fish. Well, I did feed one of them that we can talk about. If not, we'll go ahead and head on in there. Think of all the zebra plecos you could buy with that. Hey, Jeremy. All right, guys. This is my son's bedroom. And in my son's bedroom, he's got a little, well, you can't even see it. It's too dark in here. But he's got a great big Rubbermaid tote. I don't know if you can see it or not. And he's got just your standard old box turtle in there. Jeremy gets around. And then he's got a 55-gallon breeder tank. And I'm going to go ahead and feed this thing and talk about what all the fish that he has in here. You guys have, if you've followed my channel, you guys have seen this tank before. But what is in here, it's a community tank, okay? And what he's got in here is he's got 3 different types of tiger barbs. He's got the standard, orange tiger barbs. And then, boy, I'm not doing a very good job. Tankiness. And then he's got some green tiger barbs. Which that one, she's not looking too good right now, color-wise. There's a really nice fat green tiger barb. I thought that the ones that Jimmy unboxed the other day from Aquarium Co-op, did you guys see that video? He unboxed some green tiger barbs that I think my sons are prettier. He unboxed some that they looked like they had regular tiger barb mixed in with them. He's got a couple of albino tiger barbs in here too. There's one. Oh, there's the other one. Oh, the green moss barb's pretty. Yeah, this one's fat. She's a fatty. I think it's a female, I think. It's kind of hard to tell you guys the size of these things. He's had these probably 6 or 7 months in here, I would say. I'm not doing a very good job of videoing. I was setting on something. He's also got a couple of bala sharks in here. That one right there, and that one right there, and then that iridescent shark right there. And the clown loaches. It's got like 4, I think 3 or 4 clown loaches in here. Yeah, 4. Got one down here. I guess I could back up a little bit where you guys can just see them all. And I don't know if you guys can see that small tube right there is his big clown loach. You guys probably can't see him though. I don't know if he wants to come out and eat or not. They've already got all the food ate, so I'm going to sprinkle some more in there. I was kind of going light. Oh, he's also got 5 neon tetras. Those used to be in a different tank, and he introduced them in here probably about a month ago, something like that. I'm feeding them tetra color granules, and I hope I can get a close-up on this little guy right here. I don't know if you guys have heard me talk about it, but it had a problem whenever it was little. It got a piece of food stuck in its mouth, and it just banged and banged and banged on a rock until its top lip just came completely off. But he stayed small for the longest time. He's smaller than the other green ones, but I think my son calls him Froggy or Frogger or something like that. Kind of funny. And then he's got a regular pleco in here that's under the sponge filter all the time. I don't know if you guys can even see it. No. I don't know if you guys could or not. I can barely see him too. This tank right here, we've just got a couple of hang on the back filters and 1 sponge filter. We keep the temperature around 72 degrees, somewhere around in there. And all the fish are doing good. The blue neon tetras aren't really colored up all that much tonight. Where do you guys get most of your stock? Well, my son really loves the local LFS. I would say every last one of these fish in here. I live in Oskaloosa, Iowa. I think he bought every last one of these fish in here at our local LFS. And I like our local LFS too. Excuse me. And, a lot of my fish I got from there too, but I order a lot of stuff online. Like I got my shrimp online. All of my shrimp I bought online. My super red plecos I bought online. What's up, Michael? So I buy a lot of stuff online, and then I've got some buddies. There's a guy in the chat right here, right now that I've been getting some really cool plecos from. His name's Michael Trevino. So if you watch tomorrow's video, it's about that. So, but I do get some stuff from the LFS. like heaters, sponge filters, different things like that I get from the LFS. A lot of my dry goods I just order on Amazon. But who's Michael? Just about had a heart attack. I thought I killed a leopard. Oh, great. That wouldn't be good. Oh, I got into plecos recently. Well, Michael Trevino in the chat here, he's with Mile High Plecos. Excuse me. He's with Mile High Plecos. He's got some really awesome plecos, so you'll have to hook up with him. He's got a Facebook. It's called Mile High Plecos, so you'll have to go follow him on Facebook there. David says, just picked up a green terror. Awesome. Love me some green terror. Dark eye. Cool. My hubby called and I said, I love you so much. I'm on Jeffroz Livestream. Someone put in my affiliate link. Dank, I can't think. Dank Tanks. Friends know him as Trevor. Yeah, no doubt. Boy, the chat goes quick on these cell phones. All right, guys. This tank down here is going to be kind of hard, but I want to hurry up and show you guys a couple of plecos that I got with those common bristlenose that I have in there. Came with these two. This one is half common and half super red, and that one is pretty bright super red. So those 30 common bristlenose that I've got in my bedroom in there, these are brother and sister to them. I don't know if that's true or not, but Michael, check that one out. It's half common and half super red. And a ram's horn snail. Hang on a second, let me get on a knee here. Oh, I scared him off. Great. Calico, yeah. That's what my son was calling him. And there's a clown pleco. L062 or something like that, I think he is. Calicos are where the super reds come from. Okay. I just went ahead and gave him, I thought about putting them both in with my super reds until I figured out, you never know. But look at that clown pleco there. He's pretty cool. They stay really small. So, are those the same platies from your 55 gallon? Sorry, Romaine Paul. Look at these big fat platies, guys. They're facing up with me. Oh my gosh, I just got a 20% battery warning, so. He's got all kinds of different platies in here. He's got black ones. He's got, oh, there's a baby black one. Cool, I hadn't even saw that one. It's half rainbow and half black. He didn't tell me about that one, but he's got a bunch of rainbow ones in here. Wow, that one's cool too. I'm hardly ever in here. I help him do his water changes. I don't pay much attention. He does have a couple of shrimp in here too. If you guys saw that video that I had Monday, I moved this guppy grass from out of one of my tanks, and he got some baby guppies. He got some shrimp. There's a pretty big blue female right there. She is huge. Did you read for frogs yet, Jeffro? No. I've got a couple of 40-gallon breeders out there. I could probably do something. Okay, guys. Let's go ahead and move up here since I got 20. And this tank up, he's got a bunch of guppies in it. Are you ready for frogs yet? Yeah, I'm like, read for frogs? Yeah, I mean, I know one of those 40-gallon breeders, I'm gonna do a pleco tank. He's got a sick one right here. That one's sick. I looked this tank over this morning, and then the other one I could do frogs, but that's an awful big tank to do frogs. But I've got 10-gallon tanks open too. I could probably do a Bavarian. I think they're awesome. In this tank right here, like I said, he's got a bunch of guppies. He's also got a male and 2 female albino bristlenose. And I was gonna bring something in here to try to show you guys. He's got a male that's fanning on 60 eggs right now. I don't know if you can see through this guppy grass, but he's got a male in here that is fanning on about 50 eggs. He counted 50 the other day, is what he said. But right now there's probably 20 brand new babies in here already. It's only a 20-gallon tank, and it is full of life. We have to do quite a bit of water changes on this thing. He's got way too many snails in here. Way too many snails. But it's a pretty cool tank. Lots of babies. There's the mama under the sponge filter there. Try to get a better view of her. That's the mom. And here's another young female. Or no, a young male, sorry. He's got 2 males and 1 female, sorry. He said that this one's showing some bristles, but I don't know. I'm just going off of what he says. And then he's got all kinds of shrimp in here too. Too many snails, yeah, Dank, I know. And we take them out all the time. I think he probably just overfeeds. I need to start a snail tank for my puffers. Yeah, I've got tons of snails, man. Every once in a while I feed them to my crayfish. They pick them out. They don't eat the shell, but they pick them out. Michael says I'm lagging. Okay guys, I got one more tank here, and it is the lone piranha. One little piranha all by himself down here in the corner. It was my son's impulse buy. He wanted a piranha. He bought 2. This one kind of tore up the other one pretty good. It was kind of bad. Well, it was bad. And yeah, not much to him. My puffer tank is a graveyard. I need to get tombstones for the tank. Not much to this tank. Just a gravel bottom and one stud piranha and 1 piece of yellow hornwort. And I don't know how hornwort got in there. Okay guys, let's go back into my room to end this thing. Can't wait to get these 40-gallon breeders going though. Got all kinds of stuff on its way. I think in these I'm gonna do like natural rock and maybe some crushed coral and just do a big pleco tank. I think I'm gonna get some 183s and put in here, and that's what I've got planned. I've got all kinds of stuff on order, and I don't know what I'll do with that one yet. You have 5 red-bellied piranhas, Jeremy? Oh boy. Yeah, it was an impulse buy. He had to have them, he said, so let's check back in here real quick before we leave on my super reds. They don't take off on us. All 5 of them are there if you can see them. There's 5 bristlenose right there. One of them is completely under in the tray. Well, I've got a 40-gallon breeder that's already scaped. Adrian. Yeah, and I've got one of those already. And I might do some kind of a reptile thing. I don't know. Dank's want me to do a reptile tank, and a 40-gallon breeder, I'm sure I could probably do it. It'd be awesome. They're really nice, but yeah, I've already got one. And I want to do one that's just made for plecos. Just do a pleco tank. I think that would be cool. And let's go over here, check on the baby bristlenose one more time, see how they're eating. They're really getting settled in really good. They've been in here about 2 weeks. There's that sword. Pleco tanks are cooler. I agree. I do like Danks Bavarians though. They're awesome. I want everything, man. Dang, you beat me to it. Yeah. These guys will eat all night long. That male right there is my biggest one. On the guppy grass keeps moving, of course, but he's my biggest one. They were all out of the same hatch, and I would say they were like an inch and a half long when I got them. And he is an eater. I do too, Jeremy. I agree. I'm really into plecos right now. Okay, guys. I just got the 10% battery life on my phone. So that means we're going to go ahead and call this one. And says that this one's been going on for an hour, so cool. My first one, Michael, you weren't here for it. It went for about 2 minutes, and then it just died. And my phone was like on fire. It was hot, and it had already went down to 85%. I had my phone at 100%. Thanks, Allison, for coming. Thanks, Mimi. I really appreciate it. Sorry I missed a bunch of the chat too, guys. Yeah, but I had it charged up to 100%, and then my stream just crashed on me, so I'm glad that I was able to get this one going for an hour. Thanks, Romaine Paul. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow morning for my unboxing L182 from Michael from Mile High Plecos. Check that video out tomorrow morning. And then come back Saturday night and we'll have another live stream at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks, Adrian. Thanks for coming along. I really appreciate it, bud. And Jerome is going live tonight. Cool. Good night, Jeff. Thank you. Thanks, Candy. Everyone, have a good night. And really, I appreciate everyone that came in. Thanks a lot. Have a good night. Peace out, y'all.